There are moments in public life when a single observer can alter the texture of an ordinary street, not by force or intention, but simply by standing still long enough to notice what others walk past without a second thought. Small gestures, brief glances, the quiet machinery of passing days. These elements gather meaning when placed under even the softest form of attention. Most individuals assume their daily patterns dissolve into the wider rhythm of the city, and often they do. Yet, from time to time, a watchful presence can bring these unnoticed fragments into view, revealing how much activity unfolds in the open, without ever feeling exposed. Tonight's entry reflects on that subtle shift when routine becomes visible, and visibility becomes something else entirely. Consider, if you will, what emerges when observation itself becomes part of the landscape.
In the annals of contemporary urban disturbances, few individuals have elicited as much frustration, bewilderment, and outright existential distress as Ernest Klemper. Known infamously as the pole perch peeper, Klemper, whose activities span nearly a decade of uninterrupted vertical trespassing, has elevated the art of passive surveillance to new and unsettling heights. Quite literally, despite repeated efforts to hinder his exploits, both through municipal policy and direct public resistance, Klemper remains an elusive figure whose actions, while universally reviled, remain entirely within the boundaries of the law. This document serves as a comprehensive analysis of his methodology, legal implications, and the broader social ramifications of his uninterrupted ascent. The phenomenon first gained traction on an otherwise unremarkable Tuesday, when a video titled, "Man Orders a Sandwich in Absolute Terror," appeared on an anonymous social media account at Perchview Reel. The footage, captured from atop a streetlight outside a local deli, depicted a man in the midst of an extreme internal crisis while attempting to customize his sandwich order. The subject, later identified as Thomas Redding, is visibly paralyzed by indecision. He repeatedly mutters, "Let me think, just regular mayo. No wait, no mayo, does aioli count as mayo?" before whispering to himself, "I am a fraud." The video, accompanied by captions transcribing his every stammer, amassed millions of views in hours. It was soon followed by more videos. A man eats a grapefruit in an unsettlingly slow manner, published on May 3, 2018. A 2-minute video of an office worker consuming a grapefruit with excessive focus, pausing every few seconds to stare into the middle distance. Then there was, a father expresses an alarming amount of confidence in his made-up facts, published on May 7, 2018. A suburban father, gesturing wildly at a playground, confidently explains to his son that all squirrels are male and all chipmunks are female, and that this is how nature achieves balance. It was followed with, "An uncle tells his niece that left-handed people digest food differently," published on May 18, 2018. While waiting in line at a bakery, he explains that lefties have a counterclockwise stomach swirl, which is just simple biology. Authorities initially dismissed the account as a hoax or elaborate prank until footage of Klemper himself surfaced, showing his near-mystical ability to scale flagpoles, streetlights, and even the occasional cell tower undetected. Klemper operates with an unsettling level of preparation. He selects locations of high pedestrian activity, public parks, outdoor cafes, parking lots, and uses a combination of climbing harnesses and self-devised counterweights to perch atop poles for hours at a time. Once positioned, he deploys a compact high-resolution camera outfitted with an advanced directional microphone capable of isolating individual conversations from background noise. Though his recording setup is sophisticated, his selection process appears entirely random. He does not seek out celebrities or politicians. He does not expose government secrets. He films only the authentic, unintentional glimpses into the fractured psyches of everyday citizens. Among his most infamous captures, a man realizes mid-sentence that he does not, in fact, know what a mortgage is, published on June 4, 2019. A businessman, mid-brag, confidently explains that mortgages are kind of like renting, but legally binding, but also, they give you a house for free. Kinda. Before his voice trails off into stunned silence, an elderly woman utters a sentence that no human has ever said before, published on August 27, 2019. A grandmotherly figure sitting on a park bench inexplicably states, "I haven't seen a proper goose indictment in years." Man laughs at his phone and then immediately looks around in fear, as if expecting retribution, published on November 7, 2019. The man's expression oscillates between delight and paranoia with increasing rapidity. Despite repeated takedowns, Klemper adapts. New accounts emerge within hours. His uploads are accompanied by no commentary, only raw footage and timestamp captions, ensuring the subject's words remain etched in digital eternity. The primary issue faced by authorities is one of legal ambiguity. As Klemper operates from public infrastructure and records individuals in public spaces, he remains shielded by existing privacy laws. The phrase, "no reasonable expectation of privacy," has been uttered with increasing exhaustion by legal experts attempting to navigate the chaos he has sown. A city council meeting dedicated to his removal led to the now infamous vertical trespassing ordinance proposal, which was ultimately deemed unenforceable. One council member, visibly exasperated, was recorded muttering, "We have laws about drones. We have laws about public disturbance, but we never in our wildest dreams imagine we would need a law about hanging off a flagpole to record a man eating soup incorrectly." Community efforts to discourage Klemper have also proven insufficient. Anti-climb paint was deployed but merely resulted in Klemper appearing in new footage entirely covered in paint, unfazed. Metal spikes were installed atop select poles, which Klemper bypassed using an umbrella as a stabilizing device. A particularly desperate town installed motion-triggered eagle sounds, theorizing that a loud, aggressive bird call might deter him. Instead, footage emerged of Klemper nodding in quiet appreciation before ascending twice as fast. As his notoriety spread, international media began chronicling his impact. A feature-length documentary, "The Man Above You," attempted to analyze both his methodology and the unintended cultural effects of his footage. It was observed that many of Klemper's subjects, though initially humiliated, underwent profound personal reckonings as a result of their exposure. Thomas Redding, the sandwich indecision subject, later published a book about overcoming self-doubt. It reached number 3 on the bestseller list during its first week. The father in the squirrel gender theory video issued a public apology, but he later doubled down claiming, "I'm sorry, but it's true. All chipmunks are female." The goose indictment granny refused all interviews, leaving her legacy a mystery. Klemper himself has offered no official statements beyond a single cryptic response to a journalist who managed to track him down. Nobody ever thinks they're going to be watched until they are. And even then, they don't think they're saying anything worth remembering. Despite near-universal condemnation, there was no trial, no formal reprimand, no lasting records of his presence. In the years that followed, theories emerged, not of motive, but of intent drift, that he had started with curiosity and ended in compulsion, that he was never recording people at all, only the spaces between them. That perhaps the real discomfort was not in being watched, but in realizing how little we concealed to begin with. His recordings, devoid of malice yet brimming with existential absurdity, serve as an unsettling reminder of the fragile tightrope between privacy and performance. For ultimately, Klemper does not fabricate our words. He merely climbs high enough to hear them.